Dennis Shaban, and I will be the host and moderator for this session. Joining us today, we have an expert DSR user, Luca Pascucci from Italy. Luca has been pivotal to the global rollout and successful adoption of DSR at Name It, and he is now in a new role to repeat that success across all bestseller brands in Italy and France. A few years ago, Luca proposed an idea on how to improve DSR, which then became the merch floor feature. As we have recently made significant updates to the merch floor, I believe it would be valuable for sales reps to get inspiration on how to use these new capabilities to improve your collection sales meetings. So please feel free to ask any questions in the chat as Luca presents, and I will ask them to Luca. So Luca, please welcome to share some innovative ways of using merch floor in the digital showroom app.
Thank you, Dennis. I hope you can see my screen. Awesome. Well, again, thank you, Dennis, for the warm welcome. So yeah, I'm Luca, and I've been working with the Italy and France bestseller region. And together with Sergio, Michela, and the team, we're currently testing this new way of selling that we're calling it opt-out selling. The goal of this is to be more effective and efficient to our customer meetings, specifically with pushing the digitalization of collection selling, increasing turnover, and at the same time, reducing the time we're spending inside the collection to the customers. Now, it's really, really important to point out that this method requires a little bit of preparation beforehand, because of course you need to be aligned with your team in terms of the focus they want to push, the styles they want to push. But besides that, the key ingredient for this is the merch floor. Now, let's take a few steps back and just have a look at how we're currently selling across all brands normally. So what we're doing is that we have our presentation with lots of different boards, and obviously there's no right way or wrong way of making boards. You can make them in different sections. In this particular case, we have a focus, and with this example, model, we have different focuses on trends. We can also, of course, utilize the power of marketing content to show our outfits. And of course, we can combine this with some marketing text, shall we say, versus in this case, Black Friday. But no matter what, we're going to end up here where we have the grades of styles. So normally what we'll be doing is that we'll present the styles to the customer and be like, hey, customer, do you like this? And if they do, we can put a heart on it. Very easy. Otherwise, we can move to the next one and be like, do you like this style? And customer might say, no, I'm not into this. Do you like this one instead? And the customer will be like, maybe I need to see some information. So what we do is that we click on it, get into the PDP or product detail page, see the different color variations, get into the assortments to see the size split. You all know this, I'm sure. And you will just essentially go through the entire collection like that, which is absolutely fine. We've been selling like this for a couple of years, and it's working very well indeed. However, this will essentially cause a lot of scrolling and a lot of going through all of the styles, which may take a lot of time. And after we've done all this selection, just like we used to do with our digital showroom, we will take all of the samples that were selected, and if we didn't have digital showroom, we'll put that over the floor, I should say, where the customer would work with you, merchandising it a little bit, and take pictures and bring it home. And this was the intention with the merch floor originally. So digitalize this process. We've made our selection of styles. We go into the merch floor. We play around with the customer. And then we have our visual merchandising for him or her when in 7, 8, 9 months, the styles will arrive to the store. Of course, a lot of you may have said, I don't have the time to do this. So what we thought in the team is to flip the script around. So instead of starting from the boards, we're actually starting from the merch floor. And again, the basic concept is exactly the same. So there's no right or wrong way of making merch floors. So here, together with the Bermuda team, we have developed different kinds of merch floors. So for instance, here we have September, October, so we can go into delivery or classy in this particular case, that would be a theme, as well as sub-capsules, like it could be the Black Friday. And inside the merch floor, the way you organize it, again, entirely up to you and how you align with your team. So for instance, here we're sharing the styles with all of the different color variants. Otherwise, we can go, for instance, a little bit more style heavy with lots of styles, or we can go a little bit backwards when it comes to the number of styles we can present, but more marketing content. So entirely up to you how you want to show it. But the core part is this. We're no longer going through each and every single style one by one. So do you like this? Do you like that? No. What we're doing instead is to present the entire merge floor, in this case, in September, as the selection that we prepared for the customer. So we would be proposing it as if this is the selection that would work for you. Is there something you would like to remove? Opt out. And now, of course, for the customer, no problem. They will probably go around and say, maybe I'm not so sure I like this style right here. I'm not so sure I like this style right there. And it's totally fine. So we can remove those. We take them out of the picture. But then now what happens is that the customer has essentially broken a little bit the setup of the entire visual, because now we have lots of bottoms and we're missing a lot of tops, right? Which is fine, because then now with the Merge Pro, we're able to tap into the entire catalog and fill in these gaps. So as I said, here we're missing some tops. How to fill that? It's very simple. We go here to the bottom right corner and we add the styles. Now, by default, normally back in the days, we would have the setup into the favorite styles, because as we said earlier, we would have to favorite all of the styles and then put them in the Merge Pro. Now, with all styles, I'm able to tap into the entire catalog of your one in this particular case. And by default, I set it up to be grouped by category. Obviously, you can use the multi-grouping. So if you want to sell specifically for a month of delivery, you can also do that. But for the sake of this presentation, I'm just going to keep it with category. And I'm going to go and find our tops category, which here we go right here. I'm just going to take completely a random 3 styles. 3 tops, I should say. 1, 2, and let's say 3. I'm going to click on Add Styles. Then I have them right here. Like I tell myself with the auto alignment of the styles, it's a little bit easier to move them. So then I can just move this one here, move this one here, and I think it's a little bit too big. So I'm just going to make it quickly smaller. This one here, and then the customer may say, but then, this wash, I don't think it really fits. Not a problem. We can take that one out and just focus this set instead. And one personal suggestion, let the customer play around when you have them next to you in your showroom. Let the customer play around with the Merge Pro, because you would not believe how much they start to add in just because they're using and interacting with the touchscreen. It's quite incredible to see. But then, customer may say, okay, I like the visual of this, but I would like to get more information about the styles. Totally fair. Maybe composition, price information, and so on and so forth. So I can simply click on one of the styles. And then you will see that when I do this on the right-hand side, I have this basket icon. When I click on it, and I'm able to get into the product detail page. And again, I'm free to have a look at the size split. I'm free to have a look at different color variants that I have available. And of course, as you all know, I have the opportunity to also see style composition, style description, and so on and so forth. Now, obviously, customer may have questions about multiple of these styles. Not a problem, because we can multi-select different styles. Again, click the basket icon, and you see now we have 1 of 4, because essentially we can either click on the arrow, which I'm doing because I'm on a laptop, but if you're on your DSR table or big phone, you can also just swipe with touch interaction and have a look at every single style product detail page. Now, customer is happy, satisfied with the Merge Pro and the way that your assortment is looking. Now, yes,
Luca, may I just also emphasize that in the Merge Store, you can actually take advantage of all of the colors, and you don't have to necessarily only work with the Merge Floor in the digital showroom. You can still use your physical samples, find the items that you like over there or in the boards or in either way you want. But the nice part here is that once you get that style into the Merge Floor, you can really use the advantage of showing all of the colors together, right?
That's right. Yeah, absolutely. Because obviously, I don't think you get all the samples of all the colors, but instead you may only get, in this particular case, the blue one. But with the digital showroom and the Merge Pro, you can show all of the samples that the customer may be interested in, so that in 6, 7, 8 months, when the customer will receive all the 3 colors, we're also able to, and we'll see it a little bit later, we're also able to share the Merge Pro with the customer. So no need to take the picture and then maybe note down on a piece of paper or in the notes on your phone that, this, I don't know, a sweater will come in all 3 colors. So that's definitely a good point, Dennis. Absolutely. But the idea is that when we're ready and satisfied with the merge floor and the visual that we have right here, then the next step, as you all know, is to go and like all the styles because we need to put them into the basket. How do we do that? Well, now we have the opportunity to have the heart icon in the merge flow. And as you know, when we have an icon that turns from white to black, it means that it's active. So right now, when I'm clicking on a style, you see I do not get the basket icon again to go into the merge flow. Instead, I'm seeing this heart on the style. And as you may have guessed, this essentially allows me to select and like all the different styles that I'm interested in. In this particular case, that will be all. And obviously, if we are clicking on a style that we have liked and then we want to remove, the system will ask, are you actually sure you want to remove the styles? Because just like if we were in favorites, we want to make sure that we are removing the styles that we actually want to remove. So not a problem. In case you are okay with doing that, you can click on do not show this again and confirm so that we can remove the style that we were not into. But anyways, we liked all the styles that we are having in the merge flow. Oops, forgot this one. And then we can go into the basket and, as you know, place the quantities that our customer is interested in purchasing. You can do that throughout the entire basket. I'm just not going to do that. You're way better than me at doing this. And the key point here is that, as I said earlier, what you want to do is to make sure the customer is receiving this visual merchandising that you've done together in the show. So what you're able to do is that you can utilize the share presentation and sharing the public link with the customer. And I'm sure that Dennis has some extremely cool news about the public link. So I'll just leave it to you, Dennis. I'll just stop sharing so that you can take it from here.
Thank you, Luca. So I will start sharing, but I also want to remind everyone that feel free to ask any questions in the chat. So give me a second. I will share now. Okay. All right. So yes, we do have some quite interesting new possibilities with sharing this presentation. I really hope that we will have a much more competitive solution in regards to sharing a PowerPoint or similar. However, before going there, I just want to show you literally a couple of new features that we released for Merge Floor yesterday. So I will go ahead and add a few styles to a new canvas. But now we have this feature here to press the I button. As soon as I do it, I will now also get the information below each of these that will kind of, be, as you can see, tagged or connected to the item. So I think that might be something that a lot of you have done in PowerPoint before. You take this item and then you basically put some of the core data below it. We also have, in order to make even more amazingly looking merge floors, access now to all the marketing packages. So I can pick any of the marketing packages, but this one is made for collection 5. And then I have all of the groups in here. So I can, for example, come in here, boom. And now I have this one here, which I can, of course, make a bit larger. So yeah, and I really hope that this will make it possible to create much more amazing looking merge floors going forward. There was one case yesterday when we were visiting the Copenhagen Fashion Week where they said, I wish I could add the floor plan of the customer's store so that I can show them what to put on the different sections. So that could now be a possibility. Yes, and now that you made all this amazing work, why not even share it with the customers upfront? So we have the possibility to share presentation here now. By default, it will be like this. Who can make changes? No one. So I copy this link and I would share this by WhatsApp, email, any way you like. And you can now see here in the public links that I will give access to all of this content. However, I might not want to overwhelm the customer with everything, all of the features, including the catalog with the full range of products, especially beginning, before the meeting. So what I can do is to simply go to the advanced configurations and disable all of the views except merge for example. And now when I send, I don't even have to resend the link, but now you can see this will be how it will look for them. And it might be an easier way. Of course, they can always download the PDF as well, so that they can keep track of, what was the planning for the deliveries once they arrive, after the meeting has been ended. I would just quickly also show you that there is now a possibility to actually use it much more interactively. So I can, for example, add the baskets and favorites view, and I will, for the sake of this, not required to log in. So basically what I'm now doing is that I am making anyone with a link able to see the favorites that we made. They can now enter the product page. They can go to the basket and they can place orders if they would like to. In order to do that, I also have to do one more last change, which is who can make changes? Well, one or users that is linked to this customer, or anyone with a link. Does it how much you want to allow for? For example, there could be the case there is a buyer, but they're not linked to the customer in the ERP system, but you still want to make it possible for everyone at that account to have an impact. So you can make these changes, and whenever you're ready, they can simply do to notify their salesperson that they are now ready with the changes that they made. They can notify, and the salesperson will get a message. We will deep dive much more into the public link. I will also show more about the most sold features and a couple more interesting functionality in the next week's webinar on Friday. I hope to see some of you there as well. Let's see if we have any questions for now. So we have
Dennis, to add one thing, with the public thing that you share right now, I think one of the coolest features that also you can include notes. So for instance, let's say that you actually, I don't know, for some reason the customer is not able to come to the showroom, or they're not able to, exactly. You can use notes to, include some messages to the customer, like this is a repeat style, or this is a specific focus style, has like, I don't know, kind markup. And you can do that here, but also in the basket overview, obviously we can put notes in every single assortment. Let's say that we were discussing with the customer, if this particular assortment, I mean, now it's in 15 pieces, I'm just inventing right now. Let's say that we wanted to request it for 12. Instead of maybe having an email on the side, style number XYZ, assortment U15 should be changed to a U12. You can put the note there and the customer will be able to receive that. So if you already made an agreement during the meeting, whether it was in person or online, you can also put the notes in a specific assortment so that both of you, customer and sales rep, can remember what you discussed about, if you have some things that are pending. And then obviously, due to the fact that the public link is live, whenever there's an update, the sales rep can update the note, and then Dennis, my customer, will be able to see that I've changed the note with no problem at all. So this also makes the communication between sales rep and customer also more efficient.
Exactly. All right. So we have a question from, or comment at least from Andre John. So, hi, it would be interesting to be able to make merch force from past collections. This way we can help the customer to merchandise their past selections. I would agree. So that is something we're looking at making possible. So hopefully we will be able to keep the styles, as you may know right now, when the collection ends, the styles also disappear, unless you've downloaded them as PDF. So that is something that is very much top on the roadmap.
But actually, you have a slight workaround. I was just thinking of right now, so take me with a pinch of salt. But assuming that you have as much content as possible, Henry Jean, you can actually utilize the marketing content, because that, Dennis, correct me if I'm wrong, will stay. So that obviously, if we're lucky enough that the customer bought into the different outfits that were photo shooting, you can perhaps remove the styles because they will be disappearing essentially. But you can utilize the marketing package to fill the gaps and say, okay, these are the different outfits that you will look for, then you chose, and those will stay. And ideally, since we have the access to every single marketing content picture, regardless of the marketing package we have, as Dennis showed, you could make one presentation, I should say, with different merch flow for the entire season. So then you have a way that the customer can go back to. Although, of course, it's not with the styles, but it's more with the marketing package. Just thought of it right now, but...
I mean, hopefully you won't need that type of workarounds. For now, yes, it will be possible. Yeah. Cool. Then Emma asks, hello, I would have a question. When adding styles to the merch floor, would it be possible to group or filter on catalog level? It is currently not possible to group or filter on, group on catalog level, nor filter. That is, however, something that we will also be looking at to have much more of a similar experience as this view, so that we can utilize that when adding to the merge floor. Right now, unfortunately, the workaround would be to pick catalogs here and categories, favorite them, and then go to the merge floor to add. There's also one more thing that I would like to mention about the merge floor, actually two more things. So let's go to the one that I created. One thing is that, as you can see, when you select these, they get like a bounding box, meaning that I can put them next to each other like that, which will be fine. I can then press them. However, if I would do something like this, as you can see now, it just covers the white one. So it will actually be quite hard for me to try to hit the white sweatshirt. So I would have to move it away a little bit to be able to do this. That is also something that we're working on, so that the bounding boxes are very much closer to the actual product. And second, I have seen that some of you clicks on the item and then adds the other colors, which is very intuitive way. However, the problem is that if you remove the first item that you selected to add these, then all of them will be removed. And that is because these are technically media. So in order to add more of this color, don't select it, actually don't select anything, and then you will have all the color variants of the items that are in this merge floor. So you can do boom, boom, boom. And now you will have them here. And if you would remove one of them, the others stay. We will also address this, but I just want to make sure that all of you are aware of it for time being. Of course, we have redo and undo. There's also this feature to, if there's any back sides, then you can kind of turn around the flip it. Let's see, we have one more question from Michaela. So is it not possible for now to add one filter more on add styles page, avoiding to put first favorites? It is possible, Michaela, so that is something we will be working on. So when you click on add styles here, that you will be able to filter as well. But for now, it is not possible. Great. We cannot wait to see how, what workflows that you will find with the merge floor. And we are very much interested in any kind of feedback. We will host these sessions continuously going forward. So there will also be possibility for you to directly interact with us at TouchTech and give us feedback. Again, don't miss out on next week's webinar, where we will be going through much more of the details, focus more on demoing the product. And then from time to time, we'll bring in expert users to share how they have found good ways of using it. But there will be plenty of opportunity to give us feedback. So Luca, thank you so much for attending the today's webinar, and everyone else, thank you as well, and hope to see you soon again.